Alright, should, I think, have started? Yeah, we'll just assume so. So, anyway, usual routine, I think. I will pop out this chat thing. And, we'll see if it works. And such. Takes a minute. I have to find it, blah, blah, blah. And I have to make it visible, and gotta figure out how to automate that, I guess. Somehow. I guess I have to move it up. Well, something like that. Well, I'll fix that later. Alright, so we'll do comments. And then I guess I have to scroll the stupid chat down. I think. Yeah, something like that. Alright. That should work. Alright, so now I'll move someplace else. I'll try something else. Alright, so we'll slide that out and slide the comments in. And if I can find them, yeah, there they are. And they'll go somewhere like here. And that should work. And where the hell is the right button? Awful lot of little crap you have to do. I mean, I suppose I could standardize all this stuff and then I wouldn't have to figure out how to do it, but like right there maybe. Alright, so that should be good enough. Alright, so whatever, Saturday, I guess I did a video, whatever it's called, do you have a brain or something to think with? It's like a heart to feel with, there's a line that goes with. Well, anyway, and to me, it's, the argument's decisive. There's just no room for this crap. I mean, the fundamental argument that you could drop, two things, okay, from one unit of distance, and if you drop them on a scale, okay, the two things from one unit of distance, will weigh the same on the scale as one thing dropped from 4 units of distance. Now that fact just blows this whole thing up, in my opinion. It just proves where they made this gigantic mistake 300 years ago, where, yes, there's this thing about gravity, and the thing is, it's about how long you're in gravity, and nobody figured that part out, I guess. That all that really matters is that gravity's giving you energy, it's spraying it on you, so to speak, and it's how long you're in the gravity will decide how much stuff gets stuck to you, how much of the gravitational potential affects you. And because you're increasing in velocity, you're going through the gravity quicker, so distance doesn't mean much. It's just a fact. I'm sitting here saying, okay, intelligent people are saying, no, it can't be true, it can't be, and it's like, well, how can, it has to be true. It's just a fact that you can't use distance as a way of measuring how much energy it costs. And I think you could figure this out, that obviously when they launch rockets and when you throw something against gravity, that you have this huge advantage that, the more energy you put in, the better the mileage is, so to speak. The farther the thing goes before gravity has an effect on it. It goes a lot farther. That doesn't mean it has more energy. I mean, it has more energy, but it doesn't mean it has 4 times the energy, or the energy commensurate to the distance. And it's just right back to the bullet argument. There's so many arguments. It's just so... It's like... Alright, so anyway. I wish the same ill will on you as well. Well, I'm just saying, you said good luck, and, I'm just pointing out, I don't wish you good luck. I think your purpose is completely evil. Alright, you don't care about the truth. You don't care about the science. You just care about attacking me, and you have this little petty resentment towards me. You don't want me to be right, and that's all you're doing here. You're not doing anything else. Alright, that's your crappy little Weasley agenda. Your agenda sucks. Okay? You're not typing this stuff. If it was anybody else saying this shit, you wouldn't be typing this crap. You have a personality problem. Amazing. Anyway, but it's obvious you're already at the bottom of the well. Okay, you say it's obvious. I would argue that, of the humans on Earth, I'm one of the ones that actually has attained some sense of actualization. That, yes, although I'm not deliriously happy, I'm mentally, comfortable with me. I don't have a problem with me at all. Okay, so, even all my little crappy bits are acceptable. Because the other bits have compensated for them, in a sense. So, whatever. Fuck you. Stuck in your basement. Who cares? I mean, if you have any kind of, self-actualization kind of thing, basement's basement. It really just doesn't matter. Prison. It doesn't matter where your brain is. Your brain can figure out how to be a brain. It doesn't have to be too distracted by the environment. Alright, because it's internally playing its own game. Alright, scribbling nonsense. Right, so, and you can't argue the nonsense. You can't post links to the superior jargon or junk. Nothing. You have no counter arguments for anything. There's not, no comments on the video I did Saturday. No reference to a counter argument to a single thing's in it. I bet you old Brozo won't quote mine any of that video. Because he can't make any arguments. Because he doesn't understand anything about the theory of physics at all. Alright, nonsense. What you think is gold. It's pitifully sad to call it gold. This is like somebody observing that I think they identified plus and minus wrong, when it comes to electrical currents. It's observation about how you failed. Okay, it's about how you sold fool's gold. So yeah, I tested your gold. Your gold sucks. It's crap. Okay, it's whatever they call that stuff. Pyrite something or other. Yeah, fuck you. I mean, again, you're the one selling crap. Alright, and pretending it's been, it has some sort of good housekeeping seal of approval, and it's snake oil. But it's nothing but garbage, right? And you can't make a single reasonable argument explaining how, in any way whatsoever, it's garbage. Alright. Enjoy your cage of irrelevance. We'll see. Okay, yeah. It's kind of impossible for it to be irrelevant because it's such an accusation about something so basic. And like I just can't, It's bad on you if it remains irrelevant. Not bad on me. That's all I can say. I'm quite confident I'm right. And I'm quite confident that you people are stinking, lousy, rotten, scummy weasels because you can't even admit that you wish you had better evidence. You wish you could show me some piece of evidence to demonstrate your wacky little theories. And you can't. And you can't even say, yes, I wish we had better evidence. Alright, so I guess whatever, hit the button 3 times. Anyway, why do you keep claiming it's a differential amount of energy? Well, say if something falls at a different rate, you tie a string to it and you have some kind of friction and it falls at a different rate, it's kind of implying that it's applying a different amount of energy. So if you're changing how fast it's falling, it means you're pulling more energy out or less energy out through friction or some other mechanism. And so it's, it's not an unreasonable conclusion to have that you've changed the amount of energy in a system if you have some part of the system that's doing something inconsistent. So if you have 2 parallel systems and one of them is lagging behind in some way, it's not too unreasonable to speculate that there's probably a different amount of energy then. All right, it's the same amount of weight on each experiment. It's not moving the same speed. Jeez, I mean, you really just don't get that this really is about masses and velocities, and you have to kind of follow those two things. And that's the whole ball game, really, of physics. It's following masses and velocities. You got to keep track of them right. You got to, you got to notice that kind of stuff. All right, it's just like pushing your finger on it. So he's saying it's the same thing. So pulling a spool or like a roll of toilet paper, pulling it and watching it spin off is somehow the same as pressing on it. I don't know. I don't see any similarities at all, frankly, just none. So it's just, I don't know why you have this in capital letters. I mean, it's just an irrational pile of nonsense. It's just like pushing your finger on it. So pushing on a scale is the same as pulling a rope on a spool. No, I don't think it is. Except it's a constant weight. Well, isn't that sort of a big difference? An impulse versus a constant force? I mean, those are just like fundamentally different things. Any type's clueless. It's just, you're priceless. Priceless. You're just so priceless. Pricelessly stupid. You don't get stupid this fantastic. It's just such a fantastic demonstration of stupid fucker. Alright. And yeah, everyone who dares disagree with you, all their comments are just mush. Look, the videos are public. I do this live thing. People type shit that's just obviously irrelevant. Where's the biggest thumb on Earth? Who has the biggest thumb on Earth? I mean, they can't even find the right subjects. What god created the first electron? Or so, they ask questions. You're just like, what the fuck? I'm not interested. I don't care. Go ask somebody who could care. What does dirt taste like? I mean, All right. How dare people not believe in your unevidenced batshit conspiratorial nonsense? So again, there's no conspiracy beyond idiocracy. You want to call idiocracy a conspiracy? Well, that's kind of stupid. It's just obviously idiocracy started a lot earlier than I thought it did. It's like hundreds of years ago. People started becoming idiots. And it's just really disappointing, because yes, it's always bothered me that scientists were talking kind of wooey crap, but to find out they were doing it without any real good evidence, that all this crap was just something they invented, not something they discovered, not something they had real good pictures of. It was just talk. All right. And again, it's not about not believing. It's about why do you believe? The question is to you. Why do you believe in theories that aren't well evidenced? Why do you believe in this jeebus of kinetic energy? Well, all you have is stories told by people. People are telling you, there's this jeebus, 1/2 mv squared, and it walks on water, and blah, 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 and it's F equals ma, and everything. And it's per second. Why are you believing? That is totally inconsistent with observed reality. I mean, this is just the part that is just, where can you buy stupid statements like this? No, yours is the theory completely inconsistent with observed reality. Show me it taking 4 times the gas to go twice as fast. Instead of asking too much, show me levers not conserving momentum. Because they have to not conserve momentum to conserve kinetic energy. They can't conserve the kinetic energy if they conserve the momentum, because you're changing the energy from a small object into a heavier object, or from a heavier object into a lighter object. You're changing the torque, if you want me to use a silly little word. And every time you do that, momentum goes one way and kinetic energy goes the other way. Make sense out of that, retard. I mean, people are just such little weasels. Alright, kinetic energy is a conspiracy. So he put this in quotes. So never stated by me. And again, the conspiracy is people are a lot dumber than I thought they were. It's that simple. And they've gotten so dishonest. I mean, maybe I could have made this argument 40 years ago. Because people couldn't be as weaselly as they are now in escaping the argument. Alright, every physicist on the planet is faking experiments. Well, we clearly know some are, okay? I mean, the Professor Lewin experiment is clearly fake, and it's so stupid on its face. One minute he says, nature can't finagle momentum, and then he makes an experiment where there's free momentum going flying out of the experiment. I mean, it's just plainly retarded. I mean, it's so stupid, it's so self-contradicting, it's science contradicting. And then when you investigate, you see a bunch of clay on the thing, and you see that it doesn't have the right pieces on it, and it's clearly not what he's presenting. It's a fucking lie, okay? And it's just it's a fact. So you're saying that, oh, they can't possibly be faking experiments to prove their math. Well, it's quite possible, and I would argue that if I could take it to a trial judge, if I could take it to a court, I could prove it's a fake experiment. Alright, every experiment that proves me wrong is fake and badly done. Well, those are two different things. Fake and badly done. Brozo badly does. Other people fake. Alright, you, my friend, are absolutely insane, so you're absolutely suck as a human being. You have absolutely no character or integrity. Your parents were scum. Okay, so yeah, maybe you're also insane, but clearly you were raised by monkeys. You were raised by people who think, you must have seen it as an example, lying and faking and cheating, and that's the way you get ahead in the world or something. So fuck you and your kind. Alright, at least you allow these comments to be posted. However, instead of blocking all dissidents, so this isn't about dissidency, it's about being insanely rude and obnoxious, and as you just did, lying. Again, why should I have to deal with this moronic quote that never happened? This lie. I've never claimed a conspiracy. You're not smart enough to do a conspiracy. And I've clearly just pointed out that this is just as dumb as the fact that physics never fixed having plus and minus wrongly assigned. I mean, that was an honest accident by Benjamin Franklin. This 1/2 mv squared wasn't any kind of honest accident. Alright, this was proposed by a person who overtly said your science is too atheist. Here, let's, God it up a little. Let's fuck it up so God has to play a role. We're not going to conserve energy. We're going to give God a role so he can make the free living force. It was called the living force. Fuck. I mean, the fact that you are just defending an old archaic religion is pretty fucking clear. Let's see. Blocking all dissidents like on your YouTube channel. So again, that's not what's taken place. Every time I've blocked somebody, it's been in public. I mean, you can see who I'm blocking and why I'm doing it, so fuck you again. I have no obligation to defend myself against constant and malicious lies. So if you can't just make a physics argument, you're going to get blocked. If you can make physics arguments, then I'll pay attention. But in some cases, if you're going to make physics arguments over and over and over that I've already demonstrated to be completely irrelevant, I'm not going to just keep telling you that, well, Einstein's relativity theory doesn't have a fucking goddamn thing to do with stuff moving 30 miles an hour. Alright, then you complain about you being blocked on physics forums. Well, obviously I've pointed out that I didn't do anything to get blocked, so you're lying again. So you said after behaving like an ass. So in what way did I do that? Show where I initiated any conflict on any one of those message boards. I just kept trying to be polite, kept trying to, and they kept saying, flat earther, moron, idiot. They're the ones that did it. So don't tell me I did anything wrong. Fuck you, it's a lie. And that's all you have, you fucking people. So again, you just keep proving my point. You're the one showing no ethics, no integrity. You don't have any regard for the truth because you'll constantly just keep lying right here in these comments. And then say, why are you blocking the liars? Duh. Alright. Your minions consist of about 10 people. Yeah, the point I was making when I stated what my minions might do in the future, it's sort of a joke, but I'm just saying that in the future, if I'm proven right, okay, the fact is I'm going to have more than 10 people who are going to be humiliated and feel some sort of obligation that, oh, let's not let this happen again. I mean, hasn't the human race grown up enough not to fall for this kind of crap, to make mistakes this glaring and obvious? Yeah, and they're going to be a little bit, yeah, let's be conscientious about it. Let's poster child the people who sat there and drove us into the sewer. And you're one of the drivers. You're one of the people trying to keep the human race stupid and moronic and undisciplined and irrational and lie-y. Okay? Deceptive and wooey and shit-brained. Okay? You're one of the people putting the poison in the pie, you fuck. And you should get what you deserve for that. Because you're doing it willfully. Again, any one of you assholes who can't simply admit, oh, you know what, this science isn't really well documented. And we really should go out and document it well. We should do the fucking experiments, do them very clinically and well, and demonstrate this fucking 4 times the energy to go twice as fast thing. We ought to prove this fucking bullshit before we tell everybody they should believe it. But you don't show that integrity. And that will dwindle to 0 after you exit this planet. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I wish we could do a little, financial betting, and I wish there was some way I could collect the money after I'm dead, but whatever. We'll see, asshole. There will be no pissing on graves. Well, you can believe whatever you wish to believe. My argument is that wherever you people can be found, okay, you'll be known for what you are, okay? Malicious shitheads who have done the human race no good deed. Alright. Must be disappointing for you. Well, like I said, that's another part of this where the only part that's disappointing is I don't get to watch. But I can imagine that the movie will be made, and so that'll have to be good enough. There's lots of movies I haven't seen, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's good it was made. You can wish all the ill will on me all you want. Oh, thank you for the privilege. And you'll still be here accomplishing absolutely nothing. So again, you can keep saying crap like that, but there's no evidence you're winning this argument. My arguments are getting better and better. Yours are getting more and more this. This is all you've got. Know that. You are one nasty entity. Yes, obviously we don't like each other, okay? And it's just coming down to who's making the better argument. Now, clearly you just lied in this argument about reality, and that's all you did, okay? You didn't say something honest like, okay, you're making some of your arguments are a little hard to unravel, and But you could concede something, like you could make some excuse for why you can't produce any counter evidence, but you don't. Okay. So, and you were saying the experiment was bad or wrong. I'm saying it's irrelevant. If you think that somehow they're going to prove levers don't work, by saying, look, I did some wacky experiment where I put a third arm on and the thing didn't wobble exactly the same speed. That proves mv squared. It's not even close to proving mv squared. It's not doing anything to enhance this idea that you think there's 4 times the energy on one side of the system. So again, you're not going to change the fact that when I have a lever or a balance, and the balance is balanced, and then I put weights on it, and they start oscillating, you're not going to change the fact that there's physically more mass on one side than there is the other side. You've got to explain how that can oscillate. Because all it can do is shove it up into gravity and shove it up into gravity. That's the only thing keeping it oscillating. That's the only the only way it can save the energy is to store it in gravity. So you have to explain how there could be 100 joules of energy being stored on one side and 200 joules being stored on the other side. That can't oscillate. And you're not coming close to providing anything called an explanation. So I'm sitting here with those obvious facts saying, what do I care whether it oscillates a tiny bit slower or faster, even if that were true, which I don't think it is. And you think their experiments are credible. I mean, they're sloppy, imprecise, and you find a difference in the two setups. Well, obviously I find the difference too, because they frankly are too sloppy. Wing nuts pointing in different directions, all kinds of little imperfections. Let's see, you noticed that even before a full rotation occurred, two scenarios were behaving differently, contrary to your prediction. Again, yes, I would say it is contrary to my prediction, because I didn't really appreciate this, the fact that a balance is dependent on changing, the gravitational potential of the objects. And so if you do put them the same mass above and below the center line of the balance or the fulcrum, that in some respects you negate its capacity to store the energy in gravity. So, but it doesn't change the fact that we already know that scales work and that scales can oscillate. So the fact that you can break the oscillating part, that is, you can break the oscillator, doesn't mean that kinetic energy is proven correct. So again, it's such a minor point. It doesn't mean anything in this conversation, and certainly you haven't provided any counter-argument to Brozo's experiment. I mean, the simple experiment where he had a lever and he put a spring over here, so he applied the same force and he launched a 2 mass from here, and then he launched a 1 mass from over here. This one moved with twice the velocity, this one with half that velocity, completely conserving the momentum. But the same spring compression somehow gave this twice as much energy as it gave that. Now, what's your explanation? You don't have one. You don't have a counter-argument of any kind. It's a decisive piece of evidence, and you've provided nothing. All right. Instead of it even entering your mind that you could be wrong, I'm just saying, okay, you want to say I'm wrong because sometimes I say the word mass when I mean the word weight, or vice versa. Like sometimes I'll make these little superficial, meaningless errors. Yeah, okay. But I'm not wrong that your theory is a religion, okay? That it's not have anything to do with the science or scientific method or the whole idea of evidence. I've pointed out how the only experiments you have are rolling things a distance, in friction, and I pointed out how that can be obviously understood as being controlled by gravity again, and that this distance thing isn't relevant to gravity. Gravity's not about how far you travel. Gravity's about how long you're in the gravity. I mean, how many times? I've said it a couple hundred times. What's your counter-argument? Where's your counter-proof that gravity is some sort of linear force that cares about distance and doesn't care about how long you're sitting in the gravity? Alright, you immediately start attacking the experiment instead. Well, there was lots of little things to attack it on. Frankly, the irrelevancy is glaring. It's not the same experiment. You can't prove that my statement that if I put a 1 mass out here or 2 mass here and you can't see which one is there and all you can do is push on this side of the lever to figure out what's on the lever, that you can't tell the difference. Now, that argument or statement can't possibly be debunked by a completely irrelevant and different experiment. So, yeah. It's a little irritating when people are saying they're proving you wrong and they haven't even done the same fucking experiment. What the hell is that? I didn't hit that. I didn't do it. Certainly wasn't my fault. Alright, how do we fix it, I guess? Well, this should fix it, I think. Yeah. You are one nasty entity. Okay, we did that. Single. Okay, you will make up excuses. So I don't never make excuses, but whatever, fine. And you sit there and say, move the goalpost. I mean, I think I already read that bit. I mean, it's just so funny. When aren't you the ones defending moving the goalposts? You keep doing experiments that aren't the experiments I advocate or suggest, and then claim I'm moving goalposts? No, clearly you're moving them. Oh, I mean, it's so bad. Let's see. So in one sentence, you talk about how scummy it is not to sign your videos. Yeah, so I think I've already dealt with this. Yeah, and I mean by sign, just have some connection to your reputation involved. So if you're not showing your face, you probably should be showing your name or something else, so you can be properly assigned responsibility for what you're saying. I mean, the fact that I'm advocating that people should take responsibility for what the lies they publicly spout, I think is perfectly consistent with what the Constitution intended. You couldn't send a surrogate to the public square to do your free speeching. You couldn't, just run a tape recorder. That would be called bullshit. And so, yeah, you've broken a lot of these concepts by pretending you have some right to be an anonymous cunt. Alright. Yeah, so we already done this part. But just such crap. So instead of providing a counter argument to anything I'm saying, this is the crap they post. Yeah, just absolutely nothing you can do with it. Useless mush. Alright, so it doesn't appear to be any comments, so maybe I'll hang around a little bit, but I'm not that interested. We'll say somebody did request to get unblocked, sent me an email. If you're going to send me an email and request to be unblocked, you have to send me the link to the channel you want unblocked. Because frankly, YouTube doesn't provide the list they give you to unblock people. It's not alphabetical. It's completely random. You can't find people's channels sometimes. It's just, they're not even there. And, so it's not very useful. So, especially if you have a very common name to your channel, I mean, I can't even, do a search for it. So, you will have to send a link to the channel so I can go to the channel and unblock you. Alright. Yeah, I think that's it. The other thing it should be fixed. The donate buttons on the channels were broken. And it's funny that it was broken by PayPal. Because I noticed it happened to other people's channels too. I started hitting other people's PayPal buttons and none of the old ones were working. So, I don't know why they broke them. I don't know what they did to break them. Maybe they would be fixed again in a few days. I don't know. But yeah, they did break them. So I had to redo them for no good reason. But that whole system sucks in some respects too. As does much of everything that goes on planet Earth. So I guess I could play the video I did the other day. Yeah. I mean, it just goes through the list of things. And there really shouldn't be much argument. It's kind of a game over situation. I mean, these arguments are undefeatable in terms of explaining how it works. See, this is here. I got the little two. You take two single masses, you drop them 1 unit of distance, it doubles the weight. You can see, obviously, it's going to double the weight. And then you drop one of them from 4 units of distance, and you only get the same doubled weight. And that's all you get. I mean, how can you claim it has 4 times the energy when you just demonstrated that, no, I just double the mass and I double the distance it drops and I get the same result? It's clearly only twice the energy. Clearly. And then the whole gravity argument, you go by a gravitational body, and the faster you're going, the less you're going to get bent by the gravity, the less it's going to influence you, because it's a real force. It has to hit you. if you go through it real quick, just like going through light real quick or going through a paint sprayer real quick, you do it real quick, it's not going to affect you much. I mean, it's obviously that's the truth. So, I mean, there really shouldn't even be a conversation, frankly. Alright. So, I guess we'll just check to see if there's no comments, but it appears to be no comments. Yeah, so I could restore it, but well, I can do that. What the hell do I care? Yeah, nothing. Only 4 viewers. Yeah, that's just terrible. Alright, so we'll just end the video. Yes, that's not going to work. Alrighty then. So, we'll try again next time and such. Should be a good time for Europe. I mean, you know, it's not their bedtime. A little early for the Americas, so I understand why the number's low. But, you know, that's being fair. You know, giving Europe their chance, and I guess they're just not taking advantage. But it might be YouTube. You know, they can decide to, you know, send their little notices a little bit too late for it to do any good. So, you know, that could be what goes on. Alright, so, yeah, so we'll call it a video. And so, till the next time and such, and so forth and whatnot. Whatever. Yeah. Part of me says I almost don't need to make any more videos. I mean, the last video just says it all. All the points are in there. Enough of them anyway. I didn't even make the lever argument, I don't think. You know. And, yeah, just, this should be game over. So anyway, till the next time and such.